Alright guys, so what you saw there was a preview of my robot companion here, Killing Air 5000, which you might have seen from one of my previous episodes. It looks slightly different now, because in that episode I decided just to add everything that was kind of at the bottom of the list in the robot workshop menu. But just now what I've done is I've kind of optimized him. And I feel that he is kind of as good as he's going to be for a robot companion. He's a good mixture of strength and weaknesses. He has kind of all the weapons, I think, that are pretty good. And he's also got a good amount of movability, because I decided to go with legs instead of some of the other options, which we'll go over. And also, he's aesthetically pleasing because he looks pretty badass, to be honest. So we're going to take a look in the menu, and I'm going to show you guys all of the stuff that he has. So if we go to special mods, okay, he has MStat. That is just part of when you do the DLC, so we don't really need that for anything. Some of the things are pretty obvious what you need. Okay, so if we go to head, okay, the choice of head is really up to you, but I think for most of the things, the bottom option is usually probably the best one. So this one adds head laser attack and short engagement distance. It's got poor accuracy, but from my experience of using them, his accuracy isn't that bad. But it's up to you, but I prefer this one. Okay, all the other ones are not very exciting, to be honest. But when you do that, you can choose a helm, okay? And I think there's no better option than the Gorgon helm, just because it kind of adds this cool skull look to your Automatron. And also, it adds bonus damage to your head laser attack, so that'll come in handy. And if you're playing on easy like I am, because I never really found any need to play on a harder difficulty, the head laser attack will kill most enemies with one hit anyway. For torso, okay, I'm going to tell you guys that you should probably go for the Sentry torso, and the reason being is when you do that, you get the choice of adding in a launcher for your left and right shoulder. Unfortunately, I can't show you it because the rotate button doesn't seem to be working. But you get the choice between 3 different things. You can get a nuke, which is pretty crazy, I guess. I'm not sure how close you want to be to your Automatron if he's firing mini nukes. You get gas launcher. I've went with just the regular cluster bomb one, and it seems to work pretty well. And you get 1 for each shoulder. So if you want to be completely overpowered, you can add in 2 mini nuke launchers on either side that just, remember, to stand well back. If you go for the front storage plate, you can see I've went with the front brutal storage plate, and although that's rank level 4 armorer, the ones down the bottom actually give you higher damage resistance. I'm not sure why these ones are rank 3 and the other one is rank 4, but basically I went for this one because I thought it looked the best. You still get a good amount of damage resistance, but if you're playing on a harder difficulty, you might consider getting the higher one. I like the way it looks with that. Okay, for the rear weapon one, I'm pretty sure I went with the same. Just because the way it looks, like, you can't really see it, but it does give you skulls coming out of the back of you, so that's pretty cool. But again, if you want to go for just damage resistance, then you can go for the bottom one, and it will give you higher damage resistance, and also increases your carrying capacity. So these were just aesthetic choices. They were kind of like the best kind of damage resistance, and the best looking kind of at the same time. So we've already seen the shoulder launchers, and we had resistance field. This is just a personal choice. I've went with increased damage resistance because I don't really need them for anything else. But you can add whatever one you like. For the left and right arms, I've went for the same things on both except for the weapon. I've chosen the Sentry left arm and right arm only because it gives you the most damage resistance, and also it was kind of chunky looking. I thought it looked pretty good. If you went with like the Robo-Brain arm, you know, it kind of looks, it doesn't go with the way that he is. For armor, I went for the Warmonger spiked plates. If you go for the bottom one, you'll get higher damage resistance, but I don't think it looks as good as this one. And again, if you're playing not on easy, then you might want to go for this one, just so he doesn't get killed as easily. For the weapon, on this hand, I went for the heavy flamer gun, and on the right hand, we have the Gatling laser gun. They're not the best weapons, but if we go right down, you can see that these ones, they may break when used because they're unstable. And I kind of flipped between the flamer gun and the missile launcher, but I quite like the way the flamer gun looks when he shoots balls of fire everywhere, so that's pretty cool. And the Gatling laser, I think that's probably a must-have, because all these ones, like the missile launcher and the flamer gun, they're not too accurate, whereas the Gatling laser is. So that's what I went with. For the legs, okay, this was kind of the biggest decision that I had to make. I went with the third kind of middle option here, the Assaultron legs, and that is just easily because when you go with sentry legs, he just can't get in anywhere, okay? He can't go in any doors, so he gets stuck all the time. It's just not really, it just doesn't work out. The RoboBrain treads, they're also pretty cool, so if you want to go with that, you can keep them as that. And the good thing about this one is he gets waist armor, okay? And if we go down, like this one, you know, I don't know if you can see that, but he kind of looks like a robot from Robot Wars, so that's pretty cool. But I went with the Assaultron legs. Okay, and you get 3 options, which I will now have to try and remember. I would have just went for the bottom one and all these, because they're just, I don't care about the perk on the right hand side. You just wanted good damage resistance, because you can't really see what they look like. So these are all just the hydraulic frames for all of these. And the right leg. And also it makes them look more sturdy as well. It looks like he's got armor on. So once you've done that, all you have to do is choose your voice. I went with the very bottom one, Sentry voice, because he sounds very evil and killer robot-ish. And then finally just choose your paint. I went with white because you can see him better. But I think he also looks pretty cool in... Let's see. I think he looks pretty cool in blood red. You know. But these are all your own decisions. I stick with white. And once you do that, you can name him and you'll have a pretty cool robot. I don't think you're going to get much better than this. Like I said, maybe if you are struggling because you're playing on a harder difficulty, you can change some of them to be higher damage resistant rather than just the way they look. But I think this is a good mixture and an even balance of all the kind of things, which are damage resistance, the way he looks, so his aesthetics, and his movability, just how easy he can access places, and how fast he moves. Of course, this is all my own opinion. If you guys feel a different way about your killer robot companion, let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.